Are you feeling maybe overwhelmed right now? Heavy-hearted with all the intensity going on in the world? You're not alone. I want to talk to you today about the importance of self-care, not just the regular bubble bath self-care. I'm talking about extreme self-care for extreme times. And it's important. So join me for this conversation as I explore redefining what soul care and self-care means at times like this, when the world is chaotic, when we don't know how to navigate what is. The one thing we can do is navigate what is in our minds and for our bodies. So thank you for joining me. I really want to redefine. I make a distinction between self-care, soul care. Self-care is for your body, your mind. Soul care is, just as it sounds, for nurturing your soul, expanding your soul potential, expanding your what I call sacred awareness of a soul having a human experience, navigating very turbulent times right now. And I really offered this from my heart and soul to let you know you're not alone. So let's talk about it. What is your definition of self-care? And think about that, and also tell me truthfully what you've been noticing, how you're feeling. Do you stop to check in with your body? Do you listen to your inner dialogue? And do you take time to navigate those triggers? Anybody getting triggered a lot? It's hard. Yeah, it's a lot on the body mind system, right? But all of it is purposeful and helpful for our healing and reclaiming. And mostly right now, though, what I'm talking about in this video is not just managing, but moving from surviving to thriving. I know that's so overused, but it's so true for these times. And honestly, this came to me because I was just, having my day and in my routine and seeing clients, and in between, I'll look at the news. And I have a habit, as I teach on this channel and my clients, just put my hand on my heart every once in a while, just to pause and check in and feel and connect. And I felt my heart racing. And then I realized, wow, I'm really anxious right now. I really felt my whole body engaged in a stress reaction. And I teach this, I practice, mindfulness and meditation. But when the heat gets turned up in the world, our psyches are overheated. We're overstimulated. There's so much that's hard to process, right? Especially for my empaths and my sensitive souls out there. I am one. And so I hope this helps you. Let me know your thoughts. True self-care, I can't talk either. You're going to see a lot of my humanness today because I'm really in it today, honestly. I'm recording this on January 30th, and there's a lot in the news, and I want to talk about watching the news and how to modify how much you watch and all of that. But I was thinking that it's really self-care isn't, an option anymore. It is a way for us to cultivate inner resilience, for us to be with what is, navigate it, and take care of ourselves along the way. Because if we're not taking care of ourselves, we have nothing to contribute, right? So self-care provides us with maybe the energy, the capacity to be with what is, and then navigate through or contribute again what we have to contribute. Please do comment how you're doing. What are you noticing? Are you feeling more overwhelmed? Are you feeling exhausted? Are you feeling helpless? I want to talk about that, okay? So, and maybe if you're feeling all sorts of things right now, just put your hand on your heart and listen with me, okay? Just be with you. This is such a calming action to take, and it's so regulating, and it's also just, you're instantly bringing your attention to you. So much attention outward on other people, and there's a lot to focus on again, but coming in with just simple gesture, hand over heart, brings you and your compassion to you. And you need it right now. We all need our own love and compassion and acceptance right now, okay? So listening to your body. And I offer some just practical self-care tools first. Number one, most of us know this, and maybe you practice, maybe you don't, and that is setting boundaries. Setting boundaries for your well-being. And I'm not just talking about boundaries like I need to be alone and not around that person, but energetic boundaries, boundaries around your sensitivity. You know what's going to be hard on your heart, right? So number one, limit yourself on social media. I know this is a place where we automatically go now, and we're so like not triggered, that's not the word, hypnotized to go to social media, to check in with everybody. Check in with yourself before you check in with social media, number one, but also limit your time there. But before you limit your time, notice how you're feeling when you're looking at all the posts and scrolling through, and notice, are you getting more anxious? Notice, are you getting heavy-hearted and overwhelmed? So limit your time, okay? Think about self-care is for moms or dads out there, you're so tuned into your kids and their needs. Tune into your body in the same way. What does my body need? What do I need, right? So I would recommend also, this is hard for me, I'm not saying be an ostrich with your head in the sand, but limit your time watching the news. Stay informed, but not inflamed is what I say, because especially if you're watching the visual news, it can be overstimulating. Too much information, too quick, hard to digest, hard to process. So maybe go to AP News or somewhere where you can read something, what's going on. I was for a while, I'm going to be honest, I know I'm not alone in this, but I was like news fast, not doing news, but I would watch like Stephen Colbert or Jimmy Kimmel, and I'm getting a sense of what's going on in the world, but I don't have to be dragged through it, right? But that for me right now is even too much. So check in maybe only once a week. Just check in, get the news, because I don't think it's helpful to ignore or avoid. My teacher, Reverend Michael Beckwith, always said, check into the news long enough to know what your prayer list is, or what are you praying for? What are you visioning for? So monitor that and take that news into your spiritual practice. I mean, simply what you hear, go into a prayer. And if praying is not your thing, vision for higher possibilities, or just do affirmations. I'm affirming that I live in a safe world that's unfolding for the highest good for all. Whatever feels right for you, whatever is the opposite of what you just tapped into. You want to, kind of Reverend Michael thing, he would say, tap in, tune in, but tap into what is not working, and then tune in to what could work better. So, and then affirm that, and then tell your body, this is what we're moving towards. This is what we're co-creating, right? Pay attention. This is important, especially, for those of us who work in service and support of others. Pay attention to where you feel most drained and overwhelmed, and create physical boundaries where you can. I know, you can't set a boundary at work, like I'm not going to talk to my boss today, but you can. If you can't do a physical boundary, then create an energetic boundary everywhere you are. With my clients a lot of times, and with myself, I just simply say, imagine calling in just a beautiful healing light of protection around you, like a bubble of light. That is your inner world. Martin Luther King Jr. had a quote from a speech where he said, don't be the thermostat, not the temperature. So this is big work, right? To be the thermostat, which means if you want peace in the world, cultivate it in yourself. And these days it's harder. I notice, I'm going to be honest, it's been harder for me to hold on to my peace, my calm, my joy, my positive outlook. And so that's why I know extreme times require extreme self and soul care. Okay. So notice, and you can even use a tool like on a scale of 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being really high, how anxious am I right now? Or how stressed am I? Or, um, because stress and uncertainty and overwhelm take their toll on our physical body, take the toll on our soul even. So we may just need to set a boundary so we can take time to rest and connect to our souls and do whatever we need to cultivate that inner resilience, right? So if you are feeling anxious, one thing is first notice how you're breathing. And if you're shallow breathing, that means you are in a parasympathetic response, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. You're overwhelmed. Your body's taxed out. You've taken in too much. You haven't been able to process it or digest it, right? So one simple tool, again, I always say hand over heart, but you can just simply open your hands and breathe in. Breathe in and take a few deep breaths slow. Breathe all the way into your belly. Slowly release your breath. Like a big sigh. Have you ever noticed when you're really stressed and overwhelmed, you tend to sigh a lot? Or sometimes my husband, he'll say, "You're doing that." I can't believe I'm going to share this with you. You're doing that huffing and puffing thing. Oh, first laugh in a while. I needed that. But he'll say, "You're doing that huffing and puffing thing." And I notice it. I'll be like, ah, ah, ah. Does anybody else do that? That's my psyche trying to regulate. That's my body saying you're carrying too much. You're over your limit of stress. So laughter, very good. I pray that more comedians put some good, content out on Netflix or wherever, because I'm so sensitive right now. There aren't many movies I can watch right now because the world's already a crazy movie, right? And so we need relief, like comedy or good music, and I'm going to get to that more in just a moment. But please do comment as I go along. What does this open for you? What are you doing to take care of yourself? And let me know if this is helping, and I hope it is. Okay, so one thing to do, always check in with yourself moment to moment. Like I had gone all day before I put my hand on my heart, and I was like, whoa, 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 there's a lot going on in here. So moment to moment, that old saying, take it one day at a time, not during chaotic, intense times, one moment at a time. And especially my heart goes out to those of you who are grieving right now, grieving the death of a loved one or a change of life as you knew it. And that's grief is stress in itself. Grief is fear. And right now we're living in very triggering times that are very fear evoking, right? So my heart and prayers are with you all. Please don't watch any news. You've got enough going on. So take care of yourself. Yours is extreme self-care is needed for you, okay? So yeah, pause, just breath, a deep breath, and or breath processes, breathing processes. And there's a lot of breath work out all over on YouTube right now. Find whatever resonates with you, but just a few mindful breaths will take that breath down into your belly. It'll turn off all the alarms in your mind and help you regulate. And I always take it a step further. This is key to assess, what do you need? Those are those moment to moment check-ins. What do I need in this moment? And if you don't know, which I find a lot of times, especially women have a hard time assessing what they need. So start with what's not working and what's the opposite. I'm feeling stressed. What would be the remedy, the healing remedy? I'm feeling stressed. I need to feel calm. Breathe in calm, breathe in calm. You could also imagine yourself in a beautiful place in nature. Close your eyes, go there, go to your favorite place. Imagine your feet in the water, in the ocean, water just coming over your feet gently, or the breeze in your hair, the sun on your skin. Or you can actually take yourself out in nature, which is what I had to do earlier today. When I put my hand on my heart, I was like, get outside. I went and put my feet on the very cold earth, but it did help me. It helped me just kind of sink into the moment, drop what I was holding, let it go. So, if you can't get out in nature, imagine yourself in nature, and just imagine yourself putting your feet on the earth as well, okay? Grounding, we call that grounding. Also, another tip for grounding is holding a rock or a gemstone in your hand and letting that just ground you. I used to, during stressful times, I remember once when I was going through a really hard grief after my niece died, I carried a stone in my pocket all the time. And if I was in a meeting or whatever and I would feel my grief rising, I would hold on to that stone and just ground in the moment. So may that help you. Important other things you can do: call a compassionate friend, and the emphasis is on compassionate. You may call a friend who is in a lot of need themselves and they don't have the capacity to just be with you, listening, hearing, holding space for you. Or book a session with your support person, someone like me, someone who helps you ground and regulate and create an inner world that is safe and secure and helps you navigate whatever you're facing in your world. Regulate your body with some somatic movement. And really, truly, shaking your body is so powerful. Or stomping your feet. Peter Levine teaches just stomping your feet on the ground. But I really just get into a full body shake. Just shake it out. You might want to put on some music that you can dance to and move your body to. Or go for a run if you can do that, or a nice vigorous walk. And really singing, putting on music that you can sing loudly and move the energy, especially if you're feeling angry or if you're feeling sad. I honor whatever feelings you have. If you're angry, move to some angry music, or move music that makes your anger move. If you're feeling sad, put on a song that makes you cry, or helps you cry, I should say. Crying is powerful, very healing, very cleansing. I recommend tapping. I do tapping with my clients. I was trained in energy psychology with one of the founders of it. It's especially helpful when you're dealing with a lot of fear. Okay. Create or write a phrase down, or put it on Post-its all over, or just memorize a phrase, or Bible verse, or a spiritual verse, or an affirmation that you can repeat whenever you tune in and you notice your mind is racing with all the stuff and you're starting to obsess, you're feeling disempowered. So I used to always say, the Lord will perfect all that concerns me. It's one. Many people say, this too shall pass, right? Or all will be well is another. So find one, or two, or three, or four, however many you need, and repeat them like a mantra to calm yourself, okay? So now, soul care, I talked about earlier. What is that? Soul care is more really tuning into your spiritual needs. Remember, a soul and a human experience. So in the human experience, we need to take care of the physical needs, all of that, our minds. But the soul requires time of contemplation, prayer, meditation, connecting. We always say, oh, I felt like a soul connection, like that. Like finding a group, a community, or even creating your own women's group or contemplation group with soul like-hearted people that you can feel supported by and uplifted by. I already mentioned cry when you need to, because tears are a strength and they're healing, not a weakness. They're necessary. And then if and when you're feeling helpless, and I know a lot of us are feeling that right now with so much going on, and our hearts are going out to so many people right now, take compassionate action where you can, where you feel called, in whatever way you can, whether it's donating money or being part of a nonprofit. But taking compassionate action helps override any feeling of helplessness, okay? And then we want to release what's weighing us down, what's hurting our heart, where you feel like there's nothing to do. Write out all that concerns you. Or say there's someone that really has your heart that you're feeling, or a group of people that you really wish you could be of help and stand in the way of harm coming their way, Write a letter, a letter to whomever's on your heart. And then burn it or shred it, just release it. You want to take it out of here, let it go. Follow up with a prayer or hold a vision for whatever's been causing so much concern for you. And then this is a tool I talk about a lot, a tip, a ritual, really more of a ritual for me. And that is, whenever I feel so weighted, I'll light a candle. And then I'll just allow myself to feel into all that I'm holding, and all I might cry and bring it forward. And then I blow out the candle and I say, I surrender all of this for the highest and greatest healing possible. Okay. Throw in a bath there. That's a good one too. Just have a bath. This is kind of self-care, soul care all at once. A nice bubble bath or an Epsom salt bath. Light your candles. Think about all you're holding. Think about where you feel helpless. Think about where you feel grief. Pull the plug on the tub. Let that go. Blow the candles out. Surrender it. Really holding on to it's not going to help you in helping anyone else. First, we need to restore, rejuvenate, get back into our capacity to be of greater service, right? Okay. I always talk about this too. Create a vision for the future that resolves all the concerns and that you're holding, and focus on those higher possibilities. And I know right now it feels like impossible. Like, how are we going to even get through this? This is where soul awareness or soul vision helps, to trust that we are being held by something higher and greater, however you connect, God, creator, universe. Something's unfolding that we can't comprehend in our human experience, but we feel it. It's impactful, right? Isn't it? But to hold that higher vision, that's what we call co-creating, like we're putting our contribution, peace for all, healing, inclusion, compassion, compassionate choices, compassionate awareness, compassionate communication, right? Whatever that is. This is key. And I know already, I can tell, is for my clients and myself, how many of you are just really exhausted. And there you go. I'm going to make you yawn. It's funny, on a side note, why are yawns contagious? Do you know? I've heard two possibilities. One, it's our mirror neurons that we are always kind of in training with each other. So my yawning invites you to yawn as well. Even just saying yawning makes me want to yawn. Maybe we need to yawn together. Also, the other thing I heard was, we are still very, our brains are pretty primal still. And that when we were in clans that would, nomadic travel together, that when one yawn, it would be an indicator to the rest of the clan to go to sleep. So we sleep at the same time and awaken at the same time to continue moving as a group together. Have you heard any other explanations for yawning? Anyway, that was a weird tangent, but there it was. So yeah, maybe you're noticing yourself yawning more, tired more, exhausted more. So rest when you can, when needed. I'm an excellent power napper, always have been. And you can train yourself. I trained myself to do this through hypnosis. Do 5 minutes of self-hypnosis, and I can teach you that. Listen to a short guided meditation. I want to do more of those. Anybody want more meditations from me? I always get from people, your voice is so calming. When they watch my regular videos, they're like, I have to sit up or I fall asleep because it's so calming. So it's on the agenda for more meditations. I really want to hear your topics of what you want me to talk on. There's so much, but I do have a really short meditation. I'll put it in the description, which is called From Fear to Faith. Okay, because fear is really big right now, isn't it? Okay, so rest when needed, make sure you get enough sleep at night. So you're going to want to have a nightly ritual of getting to sleep. Make sure you're consistent with your sleep time. I always shoot for 9 to 10. And I'm not always good at this. In fact, if my husband's watching this, he'll laugh. Turn off your phones an hour before you go to sleep. Where I try to do that, I'll listen to a meditation. I'll go on airplane mode and I'll listen to a meditation before I go to sleep, and that's helpful. So just create a nightly ritual that helps you let go of the day and embrace your time to restore. Okay. And then, set yourself up for catching your dreams. Put your journal by your bed. And I think dreaming is also healing. It helps us decompress the day. It helps us vent out the stress, and also creates these stories for guidance for us. So pay attention to your nightly dreams. Can't say that enough. Um, and then I already kind of talked about this, but it's vital in extreme times to keep your eyes focused on the future possibilities, what you're moving toward, who you need to become to be in this world to contribute something of healing and value and support. You know, growing through what we're going through, right? I would say also, I got to say my eyes have been weeping. It's kind of, this happens to me when I feel a lot in the external, like what's happening in the world. I just weep. Does anybody else have that? I think it's an empath thing. I just weep. It's just a constant, self-cleaning inner system to help me move that energy. That's what crying can do, and weeping. I would say, read books that inspire you. Go back to some old books like that you read that just really felt like comfort and support and healing to you or inspired you. Um, and I want to recommend one book in particular because a lot of people that view my videos are empaths. Are you one? Or highly sensitive people? And so I highly recommend it on audio, and that is The Empath's Survival Guide, Life Strategies for Sensitive People by Judith Orloff. Okay. Really, just an amazing book, an amazing woman. I got a chance to talk to her one time. She's just a lovely soul. Okay. So also watch movies that give you hope and also help you process your emotions. Sometimes I will feel heavy hearted and I will go to an old movie that I know I'm going to have a good cry. I'm going to wring out that sponge, all that I've soaked up from the world. I'm going to let it go. And so really monitor that too. That's another boundary. Feel into the movie. Is it going to add more stress, overwhelm, fear? Don't watch that movie. Not right now. Watch the movies that are going to lift you up or help you process some of your emotions. Okay. Listen to calming music. How often do you just put on music? Just tune away from the noise of the world and everything going on and tune in to what calms your soul, like some good music. So just basically you're creating rituals and routine that support you moment to moment, because times like this require such care, for such a time as this. And you're worth it. And that's really the key to remember. You're worthy of feeling your best so you can live your best life, even with all that's going on. Cultivating joy. I always say, I came in with so much joy. I am not letting anyone take my joy. And some days, quite honestly, it's harder than others, right? So put on some music that's joyful and dance around your house and say, no one can take my joy. This joy is mine, right? It's really, the world is feeling uncertain, isn't it? I know you feel it, but we have to claim that we're not powerless. We may not be able to control what's happening in the world, but we can control what's happening in our minds, and we can control how we take care of our bodies and our souls. And therefore, we're not powerless, okay? By tending to your heart, your soul with self-care and soul care, you're creating the inner strength you need, the resilience you need to navigate whatever challenges arise. And then it becomes your superpower to, just send back to the world your hopes, your love, your prayers, to transmute and transform what is into what is still possible. And please, as I asked you to check in on what's your level of stress, check your level of hope. Where is it? It's important to keep it up there. If you're low at a 2 or a 3, you need to cultivate hope in whatever ways you can. Again, through inspirational music, books, people, community. Okay. So if this message resonates with you, and I hope it does, I hope it supported you and serves you well, please do like, subscribe, share it if you feel called. You can even take a clip of the video and put it on your social media or your friends, send it to a friend. And then view some of my other videos for more soul nurturing guidance. I just really, my core message as a transformational hypnotherapist, a soul guide, and a spiritual director is to help you navigate this world as a soul and a human experience in the most empowered way possible, growing, expanding your soul potential, holding on to your joy, being a light for others, all of that. So I hope that this spoke to you, and let me know your comments, your takeaways, and thank you for showing up for yourself, because you're needed. You matter. All right. Peace be with you. You're not alone. I'm so grateful for your precious time. And I'll be back again with another video probably in a couple of days. All right. Peace be with you.